Hello, you guys. So, I've been asked this question 2 times in the last week. And so, usually when I get a question that's coming up frequently or within a short period of time, I know it's something that needs to be talked about. Hi, guys who are hopping on. So, I wanted to dive into doTERRA sourcing, doTERRA testing, hey girl, and what sets doTERRA apart. Hi, Joanne. Glad to have you here. Okay, so specifically the question that I was given 2 times this week was what makes doTERRA different than Young Living, or vice versa? What makes Young Living different from doTERRA, right? So while there may be a lot of reasons out there, and if you start Googling, I will tell you this, you can find some pretty aggressive statements on either side. I personally don't believe that that is necessary. I don't believe it's ever necessary to bash your competitor. So you're not going to hear that from me, okay? But what you are going to hear from me are the things that I believe that set doTERRA apart, and in my opinion, above, right? Okay, this is, you know where I'm coming from. Like, I'm obviously aligned with doTERRA, and I just wanted to share with you why. So when you talk about essential oils, you really want to, well, of course, there are lots of different versions of essential oils. You can go to 7-Eleven, you can go to Costco, you can even go to Best Buy and buy essential oils. But you can never be sure that what you're getting in those little bottles is actually a pure essential oil. What you can be pretty sure you're getting in most cases is maybe a little bit of essential oil and a lot of filler, a lot of adulteration, a lot of alcohols, terpenes, whatever it is that that company is filling up those bottles with. And to be honest with you, there's no oversight over any of this. So because the FDA doesn't do oversight over the essential oil world, there's good and bad parts to that, right? Let's be honest. Like, it is nice to not have lobbyists and regulators breathing down your neck and all of what comes with big pharma. I'm happy to stay away from that if I'm being really honest with you. But it also does mean that those other companies on the market can really say that they are anything they want to say, even if they're not. So it is so important when we're talking about essential oils to do your research and really go with the oil that is pure and unadulterated, and I would say most closely aligns with who you are ethically as a person and culturally as a person. So for me, that has brought me to doTERRA, and this is why. So one of the things that I'll say, and as I said in the beginning, I'm definitely not here to bash Young Living. Just, you're not going to hear that from me. But what I will highlight are the differences in the companies, okay? So one of the things that doTERRA, that Young Living, yes, thank you, Ashley. And I know that you, as a nurse, you know that, right? I hope it's okay to call you out. I know you've been in the medical industry and the medical world. And yeah, I have heard from many, many nurses over the years. They have eyes into the big pharma machine, right? And it is, it's pretty nice to be on the outside of that. Okay, thank you. I'm glad it's fine. Okay, so let's go back to Young Living versus doTERRA. So one of the things we know about Young Living is that they have a certification called Seed to Seal. Seed to Seal. So that has been part and parcel to their business model from the very beginning. They wanted to own the land that their plants were grown on, to take care of them, to harvest them, to distill them, to bottle them, to test them, to do everything from seed to seal. And in fact, their intention was to do it all here in the United States. You can go to several different areas in our country and you'll actually find, well, I know that one that's accessible is lavender in particular in Utah, and they grow their lavender there. It is grown off the side of the freeway. It is absolutely grown without a doubt off the side of the freeway where there are trucks zooming by, emissions, gases, noxious fumes being released, right? We just can't get away from that. And I'm not bashing Young Living. I want to be really clear. I want to make a point in that we can't get away from that in our country when we have so much development here and so much soil depletion and so much air toxicity, right? So when we're growing plants here, while we should, and I grow a garden in my yard, and I grow organically, and I grow lavender in my garden, and we eat the plants and the vegetables. But one of the things that I really love about doTERRA is that they're going to where the plants are grown in their native habitat, grown where they grow best. So I just held up a lemon. So yes, we could grow lemon here. I've actually had a lemon plant here in the Pacific Northwest. It doesn't grow very good. It grows tiny little lemon fruits, right? And they taste yummy and they smell yummy. But when you go to where the lemon is grown in its natural habitat, in its native habitat, where the soil conditions are just perfectly suited to that particular plant, where the climate is particularly suited to that plant, we know just intuitively that that is the plant where, that is the area where we can get the best lemon in the world. And if you've ever gone down to southern Italy to Sorrento or Capri, down in that area, you'll see groves and groves and groves of lemon just growing all over the place, and you'll get lemon candies and lemon liqueur, because you know that that is where lemon is really grown best. So yes, that is absolutely where doTERRA goes to source their lemon. So I'm going to give you a couple more examples of that. Black pepper comes from India. We could grow it here, but we know that the most therapeutic and most medicinal offering of black pepper we're going to get is actually grown where it grows natively in India. Our rose comes from Bulgaria. It turns out that Bulgaria has some of the most beautiful and prolific growing rose in the world. Wild orange from Brazil. Eucalyptus, guess where? Can anyone guess where eucalyptus? Put it in the comments below. I mean, hopefully you can guess this. I'm thinking of like panda bears. Well, maybe pandas. I don't know. Okay, tell me if you can guess. Hi, Holly. Thanks for hopping on. Okay, I'd love to have in the comments below, where do we source our cardamom? Anyone know? How about where do we source our ylang ylang? Anyone know that? What about arbor vitae? I'll tell you guys at the end. China. Okay, oh, magnolia. So many great oils, and they're coming from where they are growing naturally. Now, this is a really important piece that sets doTERRA apart in my eyes as well, is that they are not only just going in there and saying, okay, we're going to tear down these homes, we're going to come into this land and really take it as ours, but no, what they do when they you can hop off of this, I think you're in the wrong spot. What they do when they what they do when they go into these regions of the world are they come in and they work with the farmers who have already been farming there for generations. So they work with the people that are on the ground, that know these farms, that know the soil, the climate. They know how to grow lemon so that it reaches its peak. They know when to harvest it. They know so much, and we don't have to go in and say, here's what you're going to do, here's what you're going to do, here's what you're going to do, and change all of their practices. What we do go in and say is, let's partner with you. We want to partner with you. We want to pay you at rates that are higher than you've ever received before. We want to make sure that you're not only growing them and harvesting and planting them using organic methods, but actually above organic methods. So we're going to go CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, which fits above organic requirements. So did you guys know that to get a product that says organic, only about 10% of it has to be organic? The rest doesn't have to be, and yet they can still put a label of organic on the product. That's pretty scary. So doTERRA says, okay, we can't actually put organic on everything, right? We're actually going to put CPTG and be above organic in all of our sourcing requirements. So the next thing would be, thank you. The next thing would be the testing. So the way that they're testing is super important, and it's going to be that they not only test in-house, but they test third party as well. And they test with a very well-known and well-admired company called ARPC, Aromatic Plant Research organization, and they actually send all of their batches of oils through them. So not only does doTERRA test it in-house, because they want to know, right? We want to know that it's pure. We want to know every single batch, every single liter is completely pure. This is super vital for its efficacy, for its potency, for how we with doTERRA oils can use these oils, not just aromatically, but topically as well as internally. But they also send it out to somebody to get another set of eyes on every liter, every batch of oil, so that it's not ever going to be a conflict of interest. That is really important to me. That is something that no other company is doing. And again, I am not bashing Young Living when I say they're not doing that. I'm just saying like that is not part of their business model, right? And so to me, there's no conflict of interest or concern when I know that there are many other layers of eyes on these oils, and we're all working together to make sure that if anything is less, if it's subpar, if it's substandard, we're going to toss it. And in fact, you guys, interestingly, you may know that when doTERRA does if they ever get a batch of oils that does not fit their requirements and their standing, their high standard of testing, they actually can then sell it to a company that doesn't have that high of a standard. Isn't that crazy? I think that's wild. There are so many other companies that are like, we'll take whatever we can get, right? We'll just put it out and we'll take it, and we can actually sell our lower standards of oils. But for doTERRA and what they're selling, they will always be the peak. They will always be the highest in purity, the highest in potency, the highest in efficacy, so that you can use them safely and that you know that your family can use them safely as well. So back to where some of those oils were sourced from, I did not see any responses, but let me tell you, Arbor Vitae is sourced up here in the Pacific Northwest in Canada and British Columbia. So Arbor Vitae is the tree of life, and you can go into these forests of Arbor Vitae up in British Columbia, and you will see 1,000-year-old trees that may have fallen because they can't stand up for that long, but they're not breaking down, and in fact they're repelling the insects and the bugs. They're not even interested in this Arbor Vitae. They're natural bug repellents. How cool is that? And that we can use them for our own bodies and for bug repellent as well. So we've got, Guatemala is where we grow our cardamom. Cardamom is such a beautiful oil for respiratory support and opening up our airways. And I mean, if you've got sinus issues, cardamom is such a good one. Peppermint, of course, is too, and eucalyptus. But I love that cardamom is coming from Guatemala, supporting that area of the world. Ylang ylang comes from Madagascar. Wintergreen from Nepal and the women in Nepal. So you guys can actually Google any of these sourcing videos. Frankincense from Oman and Somalia. You can go and Google doTERRA frankincense sourcing video. I would really invite you to do that. You can do it for lemon, for bergamot, for all of these different oils, and really dig a lot more deeply into the people that they're working with in these areas, who is on the ground, what their model and practices are, how they're getting their oils, why purity is so important. And I think you'll just really love it. Like, there's just no end to this piece that really is, at the end of the day, what makes doTERRA different. Without a doubt. Like, there is no one else who is committed to these different standards of sourcing worldwide, where the plants grow best in their native habitat, where they're most medicinal, where they're most therapeutic, and then testing with third parties. So anyway, you guys, hi Gloria, thanks for hopping on. I'm going to wrap this up though, but it's fun having you on. Thank you so much for joining this conversation and also loving doTERRA as much as I do. And I hope this gives you a little more insight into the difference between the two big companies, right, on the market. Oh, I should add this before I hop off. I was just messaging with a gal this morning, and she is a rep for another company, a non-essential oil company, but she mentioned that they have a small line of essential oils that they're bringing in. And I said, you know what, that's okay, because she loves doTERRA. That's okay. It's all right. There are a lot of companies that want a piece of the market share that doTERRA has, right? doTERRA has absolutely brought these oils into the mainstream, and they're so accessible, and so many people know of them now, more than when I started using them or talking about doTERRA maybe 5 years ago. People were like, what are essential oils? What are they? How do you use them? What are they for? Do they work? All these different things. And now the conversation is not about that because of doTERRA, because doTERRA's commitment to purity and to just offering the best plant material, plant medicine out there, offering the best in education, getting the word out on this. And so now it's really just more important to know that all these other companies that are coming in and want a piece of the market share, they're not going to stick around, right? It's not what they do. They're not committed to purity and potency and getting the best oils. They're committed to gathering some oils up and selling as many as they can, as fast as they can, right? But they're not going to be here in the long run. But guess who is? doTERRA. doTERRA will be here. They are part of a $7 trillion industry, which is healthcare. And healthcare is, I don't know, should I say sadly? Healthcare is not going away. It is here. If you've got a body, if you've got a family, if you've got a body, you're going to need healthcare at some point in your life. The more and more people I talk to, the more and more people I know need oils. We need to clean up our act. There's more illness today than ever before, and it is because of all of what we have in our environment, all of what we're exposed to on a daily basis that we have no control over. So what we must do, we must do, is control the controllables. And such a huge tool that we can bring into our homes is these amazing essential oils. And if you're going to bring them into your home, don't bring them into your home from a company that doesn't really care about purity and doesn't really care about testing and may have a conflict of interest in how they're doing their practices. Bring them into your home from somebody that is absolutely committed to creating the highest standard on the market of pure essential oils, that is always putting the little stamp on the bottom that you can go to Source to You and plug it in and get the information about what testing this batch of oil right here that's in your bottle has been through. There's no one else doing that, you guys. The transparency, the consistency, the commitment to purity. It's just doTERRA. So you guys, hope you've enjoyed this little convo today. I hope I've responded to the question of Young Living versus doTERRA. What and why? They're the two big ones. Yeah? And it's okay to have them both. We do not have to hate on each other. We do not have to bash each other. There's room enough for both of us. So keep to the positives if you ever get answered this question or ask this question yourself. Don't go into the negatives. Really, what I would encourage you to do is just really highlight the differences. And both company is very, Young Living with their seed to seal model. That's what they are. That's what they do. I just don't happen to like it. I like the doTERRA model, right? But that's my choice, and everybody gets a choice in it. So yeah, you guys, I'm going to hop off. I will talk to you later. Have a great day.